Hey everyone, it's Monday, April 6th. Here is your daily briefing for today. I heard from a couple people recently who felt like these briefings are just too optimistic. They feel like I'm being too hopeful about the fact that we're going to make it through this. I mean, I can be more pessimistic if you want. I don't know. But here's the thing. What makes me optimistic and hopeful has a lot to do with what I'm experiencing from all of you. Our staff team at Coram Deo has been making phone calls every week to all the members in our church, all the covenanted members. We're not getting to everybody who calls Coram Deo home, but at least the people who are covenanted members we're checking in with every week. And what you guys keep saying is, hey, how can we help? How can we serve? Where are their needs? Who's hurting? Who's lost their job? Tell me where there's a place that we need to step in and help. And that's one of the reasons I'm so hopeful in this. Look, obviously medically, there's a lot of unknowns. We don't know how things are all going to go in our city or in our own lives. But what's amazing in this moment is how much sort of human optimism is coming to the surface as people just see the need to serve one another. So I want to tell you today about one particular way that we can serve our city. I got a phone call on Saturday from my friend Myron. Myron is the pastor of Mission Church in North Omaha. I've known him for a long time. He's got an amazing story. He's planting a church in the neighborhood where he grew up as a drug runner and a gangbanger. Myron met Jesus in jail. He's an amazing story of God changing his life, and he went back to plant a church in the very neighborhood where people knew what he was like before. And so he has a profound ministry at 34th and Fowler in North Omaha. And as he's planted this church, one of the things that's happened in his neighborhood, obviously as all the schools have stopped meeting, is there's a lot of kids who don't have breakfast and lunch. Their families didn't budget for having to think about those things, and they're just in vulnerable situations to begin with. And so Myron called and he said, hey, can Coram Deo help us feed kids? And I was like, Myron, I don't know if we can do that. I'm not sure that's what Jesus would do in this moment. That's me being sarcastic, you guys. Laugh. I said, of course. We're jumping in. How can we possibly help? And so Ryan Meyer got on the phone with the folks at Mission Church yesterday. In the email that comes to you with this video, there's a whole explanation of how we want to jump in and help and serve those kids and provide for their needs. Mission Church is doing a great job. They have an amazing logistics chain built out of how they're gathering food and packaging it and getting it to families in need. Obviously, this is one of the most easy and significant ways we can help in this moment in our city, is just help people who, because of the pandemic, are in situations where they face unusual need. And so here's an opportunity for us to help. So we're going to jump in and help. And all the information will be coming to you in the email that you get with this video. And if you're watching this on YouTube or somewhere else where you don't receive that email and you want to know how to help, just send us an email, info@cdomaha.com, and we can send you the information. All right. So that's a simple way we can jump in and help. Now, it's Holy Week, and so that means there's all kinds of other stuff that we're usually thinking about this week. Good Friday and Easter Sunday, and how we're going to sort of like worship the Lord this week and celebrate His death and resurrection. What we're going to do in this unusual moment is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I'm going to be hosting YouTube live devotionals about 15 or 20 minutes at 7 p.m. each night. Just give us a chance to think about Scripture and reflect on the significance of this weekend and this week in the life of the church. And so I want to invite you to join me for those as well. As we think about the spread of COVID in our nation, again, we continue to be in a pretty good place locally, but you're probably seeing on the news the significance of what's going on in places like New York, where there's 500 people a day right now who are dying. And if you can think of the significance of that in a city, one of the things we want to be doing is praying for our friends and loved ones who are in places like that, and for the churches in those neighborhoods. I was interacting with a pastor friend of mine in New York who basically said he hears an ambulance siren like every 10 minutes. There's just so much going on right now with regard to that. So even though it looks like we're going to move past the worst of it here in the next week or two, all the people, all the doctors and people who are running our national response to this are saying, hey, we should be prepared for a lot of bad news in the next couple of weeks. And so this is an interesting season, right, where in this week, where we sort of experience the darkest depths of the Easter story. I think we're also experiencing some dark depths in terms of the impact of this virus on our nation. And our hope is that as we celebrate the resurrection on Easter, there's a sense of looking forward to some light and some hope on the other side of things. And so that can give us some grounding and some hope as well. I'll just say to end this briefing, the other thing I did over the weekend is I reached out to some of our friends who are around the world. So I spoke to missionary friends in India and in Thailand and just said, hey, how are you guys doing and how are things there? And the good news is in all of those places, they're facing some of the same uncertainties we are with, being confined to their homes and, there being very limited movement. But in all those places, like here, there's a sense of people, the solidarity of just like, hey, this is what we have to give ourselves to for now, and actually a sense of hope. There's no chaos and things like that. People feel like, hey, we're doing what we have to do, and it looks like if we continue to do that, there's light at the end of the tunnel. And so that's what we're hoping for and praying for as well. So just know that one of the weird unifying factors of this is it's not just us in Omaha or just us in the United States, but it's the world that's dealing with this pandemic. And so there's sort of this weird sense of unity and solidarity in our suffering that we experience now. So I'll have lots more briefings for you this week. There are a lot of things we need to communicate about what we're doing as we think about Holy Week. But the two most important ones are helping Mission Church serve kids and the YouTube devotionals on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So those are the ones I wanted to highlight in this video. All right, so love you guys, and I'll have another briefing for you tomorrow.